Hello and welcome back to Arsenal Domination. Well, I want to talk about another player that has been linked with Arsenal. Now, I said in a previous video that I don't want to sort of talk about players that are linked with Arsenal because there are so many rumours around, and I think that's sort of one for the summer. But I've done a similar video on this last week on over Victor Osimhen, where I set out how his wages might be an issue from an Arsenal point of view because of financial fair play view. And this player, Dean Huijsen, I think sets out another sort of set of challenges that Arsenal will need to overcome, and any club, as they sort of go into this sort of transfer window. Transfers, as I've always maintained, are very complicated. It's why they can take some time to do, because it's not just a simple question of pay the money and the player is yours. There's lots of factors in play, and this one with Dean Huijsen is another factor. So, I mean, firstly, why are Arsenal being linked with Dean Huijsen? We've got plenty of defenders, right? I don't think that's true, but Tomiyasu is going to be out until December, January this year, so next season. We're expecting Tierney's definitely going, and there's a chance that Kivior and or Zinchenko go this year, and suddenly you're down to sort of 7 defenders. So that would suggest Arsenal need someone else in, and probably a defender that can sort of cover for Saliba or Gabriel if they get injured or need a rest, particularly if Kivior goes. And that's where the Dean Huijsen links come from, apart from the fact he's obviously a good defender. I mean, when you look at Huijsen, he's a 20-year-old. He can use either foot brilliantly. He's had a breakout season at Bournemouth. A big part of their sort of success this year has been down to Dean Huijsen. He steps into midfield. He really looks to attack that ball and progress the ball either by bringing it out of defence, sort of similar to Gabriel, or looking to sort of play those progressive passes through, sort of more akin to Thomas Partey a year or two ago. And I think that's why there's so much interest, not just from Arsenal, but from a variety of clubs in the Premier League and across Europe in him. But he's also, and a sort of an underrated or underappreciated part of his game is he can be very aerially dominant. He's nearly 2 metres tall, and of defenders in the Premier League this year, I think he's 19th for aerial duel wins, which is, quite significant, particularly for one so young. And of course, that is his sort of downside here, is that he is only 20 and still a little bit raw, but what he's seen this season has been really impressive. But the reason I want to sort of talk about why this isn't easy for Arsenal is not just because there's lots of clubs linked with him, but because of his breakthrough into the Spanish side, and he will probably feel he's ready to start week in, week out. And with Saliba and Gabriel, that's not a given at Arsenal, and therefore he might be more interested in moving to other sides that are sort of in a similar place to Arsenal where he can play. Liverpool would be the obvious one with Van Dijk going, and that's why I think Arsenal may be better, may be more likely if they sign a defender to sign someone like Gerald Hatto. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it. Speak to you soon.